You're not going to believe what just happened at Crown Jewel, and before you type "this is fake" or clickbait in the comments, I dare you to watch until the end, because what Jon Moxley just did might be the most disrespectful, most controversial, and most insane moment in wrestling history. And WWE, they allowed it to happen. 5 minutes ago, 5 minutes, Jon Moxley walked through that curtain, not as the AEW Death Rider, not as the guy who stuck it to WWE for 5 years, but as the prodigal son who just burned down Tony Khan's house on his way out the door. And I'm sitting here, my hands are literally shaking, because what this means for the future of professional wrestling, we can't even comprehend it yet. But here's what's got me furious, and you need to tell me in the comments if you feel the same way. How dare WWE wait until Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia to pull off the biggest acquisition since Cody Rhodes came home? How dare they keep this from the fans who actually support them week in and week out? The American fans, the UK fans, the fans who actually made Jon Moxley a star in the first place. Let me paint the picture for you, because if you weren't watching live, you missed the single most jaw-dropping moment of 2025. We're in the main event. Cody Rhodes is defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Solo Sikoa. The Bloodline is at ringside. The tension is at an all-time high. Cody hits the crossroads, 1, 2, and Jacob Fletcher pulls the referee out of the ring. Classic Bloodline tactics, right? We've seen this 1,000 times. The Bloodline starts swarming. Tamar Tonga slides in. Tonga Loa follows. Cody's fighting them off, but it's 5-on-1. The new Bloodline is dismantling the American Nightmare piece by piece. Solo's calling for the Samoan Spike. The crowd is absolutely deflated. Everyone's thinking the same thing. Here we go again, another Bloodline screw-up. Then the lights cut out. Complete, total darkness. The crowd doesn't know how to react. Is it Roman? Is it The Rock? Is it? And I'm not joking, people were chanting 4 cm Punk even though he was in the earlier match. The confusion was real. Then, you hear it. That guitar riff, that unmistakable, bone-chilling guitar riff that hasn't been heard in a WWE arena since 2019. Wild Thing by the Troggs starts blasting through the speakers, and I'm telling you right now, that building exploded. I mean absolute pandemonium. Grown men were crying. Quick question for you before I continue, and be honest in the comments, when's the last time a wrestling return made you emotional, like genuinely brought tears to your eyes? Let me know. The spotlight hits the stage, and there he is, jean jacket, taped fists, that psychotic look in his eyes that says I'm about to hurt somebody. Jon Moxley, excuse me, Jon Moxley is back in WWE, starts that slow, methodical walk to the ring. No pyro, no elaborate entrance, just a man on a mission. And here's what separated this from every other return we've seen. Moxley didn't smile. He didn't wave to the fans. He didn't soak in the moment. He walked down that ramp like a man possessed, like he had 6 years of frustration bottled up and he was about to uncork it all over the Bloodline. Tamar Tonga makes the mistake, the fatal mistake, of stepping to Moxley on the outside. Paradigm shift on the floor. Tonga Loa comes next. Paradigm shift through the announce table. Jacob Fatu, the so-called Samoan werewolf, charges at Moxley with a suicide dive, and Moxley catches him midair and plants him with a paradigm shift on the steel steps. The place is unglued. This is the Jon Moxley we remembered. This is the unhinged, violent, I don't care about my own body lunatic that WWE tried to sanitize for years. But this time, WWE is letting him be himself. Moxley slides into the ring. Solo Sikoa is there, and for a moment, just a brief moment, you see something in Solo's eyes that we've never seen before. Fear, genuine fear. Because Solo knows what everyone in that building knows. You don't trade punches with Jon Moxley. You don't out-tough Jon Moxley. And you definitely don't think you're going to intimidate Jon Moxley. They go nose to nose. Solo throws the first punch. Moxley eats it and grins. That maniacal, psychotic grin that tells you he's exactly where he wants to be. They start trading shots in the center of the ring, and I'm talking stiff shots. These aren't worked punches, these are I legitimately want to hurt you punches. Cody's back on his feet now. He looks at Moxley. Moxley looks at him. And in that moment, without a single word, they have an entire conversation. These are two guys who left WWE, became the biggest stars in the industry, and came back on their own terms. They have a mutual respect that goes beyond any storyline. They nod at each other. Cody grabs Solo, crossroads. Moxley pulls him up, paradigm shift. Cody covers. 1, 2, 3. New Bloodline eliminated. But wait, it gets better. After the pinfall, Moxley doesn't leave. He grabs a microphone. The crowd is chanting "Holy shit," so loud you can barely hear anything. Moxley waits. He waits for complete silence. Then he says, and I quote, "I'm home." 2 words. That's all it took. 2 words and the wrestling world just flipped upside down. Here's my second question for you, and this is important. Drop your answer in the comments. Who should be Jon Moxley's first feud? And don't just say a name, tell me why. I want to hear your booking ideas. Now let's talk about what this means, because this isn't just a cool return. This is seismic. This is earth-shattering. This changes everything. First, AEW just lost their locker room leader. Love him or hate him, Jon Moxley was AEW. He was the guy in the trenches, doing the indie dates, making everyone else look credible. Tony Khan has to be sitting in his office right now wondering how this happened. How did WWE negotiate this without anyone finding out? How did they keep this secret in the age of social media and dirt sheets? Second, WWE's roster just became stacked. You've got Cody, Seth, Drew, Gunther, Priest, and now Moxley. How do you even book this? Where does he fit in the title picture? Because let's be real, Jon Moxley didn't come back to WWE to be in the mid-card. Third, and this is what has me most excited, WWE has proven they'll let these guys be themselves now. They are not trying to change Moxley. They are not trying to make him into Dean Ambrose again. They let him come out to Wild Thing. They let him be violent. They let him be real. But here's where I'm angry again, and you need to tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. The disrespect to the AEW fans. Moxley was literally AEW World Champion 6 months ago. He main event their biggest shows, and he just walks out. No farewell match, no thank you to the fans, nothing. I don't care what anyone says, that's cold-blooded. Now, maybe there's bad blood behind the scenes we don't know about. Maybe Tony Khan did something that pushed Moxley out. But from where I'm sitting, this feels like a betrayal to everyone who supported him during those AEW years. And don't even get me started on the Saudi Arabia situation. WWE knew this would break the internet. They knew this would be the most talked about moment of the year. And they gave it to a crown jewel show instead of a WrestleMania, instead of a Royal Rumble, instead of a show that the core fan base could actually attend. Here's what I think happens next, and this is pure speculation, but hear me out. Jon Moxley costs Gunther the World Heavyweight Championship. Not because he's aligned with anyone, but because he wants chaos. He wants to prove that he's the most dangerous man in WWE, and what better way than to start with the ring general? Or, and this would be nuclear, Moxley aligns with Roman Reigns against the new Bloodline. Think about it, the Shield reunion we never got. Roman needs allies. Moxley needs a storyline that makes sense. This writes itself. My final question for you, would you want to see the Shield reunite, or should Moxley be a lone wolf? And if the Shield reunites, does that mean Seth turns heel? Give me your fantasy booking below. Look, I'm going to be real with you. I haven't been this excited about professional wrestling in years. Jon Moxley coming back to WWE isn't just a return, it's a statement. It's proof that WWE is willing to do whatever it takes to be #1 again. It's proof that Tony Khan couldn't hold on to his top star. And it's proof that the wrestling wars aren't over, they are just getting started. If you thought 2024 was crazy with The Rock coming back, with Centimeter Punk returning, with all the surprises we got, 2025 just raised the bar astronomically. So here's what I need from you, smash that like button if you're excited. Subscribe if you want more breaking news like this. And share this video with every wrestling fan you know, because we need to talk about this. Drop your reactions, your theories, your fantasy bookings in the comments. Are you Team Moxley, or do you think he's a traitor? I want to hear everything. Jon Moxley is back in WWE, and professional wrestling will never be the same again. The war has just begun, and we're all watching history unfold.